Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and the second episode of creating this decent robot in Blender. On the previous video we did a bit of the modeling part, and in this video we'll finish the modeling completely. But before getting started, if the first episode was helpful to you and haven't subscribed yet in the channel, just click on the little button below and give it a like. So let's jump to the Blender and get started. On the first episode we've created these parts, and in this video we're gonna cover the remaining sections of modeling. So I'm gonna start with the legs parts. First of all, press 1 to go to front of the graphic view, and let's bring a cube. I'm gonna go on with the cube with the legs. So let's scale it down a bit. I think it is good and it will suit to our model, and that's really good. So this shape, the shape of the leg should come all the way down up to somewhere like here, and after that go up and then come down just like that. So we're trying to model a shape like that. So when you're satisfied with the scale of this cube, you can just apply the scale by Ctrl A and scale. So after that, press 1 again to come to front of the graphic view, and press tab to go to edit mode, and let's select the vertex selection mode from here, or we can just press 1. And let's select these vertices, press 1 again, and we have to bring them a little bit backward just like that, and also we should rotate them a bit up to there. And let's enable the X-ray selection mode, and let's find the good position for these ones. And when you're satisfied with them, you can select all of them and then extrude them with E up to somewhere like this. And also you can rotate them and change the positions as you like to find the good shape for the legs. So I'm gonna select these ones again, and this time I'm gonna extrude them by holding Control and right click wherever you want to extrude them. I'm gonna extrude them to somewhere like this, and it will follow like that. And also let's create the main shape of the leg. I'm gonna try to make something like this, maybe one more here, and then you can find the good positions for our legs. And all you need to do is just to play with the vertices and bring them here and there to find the good and the proper position for each one of them. I'm doing it in a quick way, but you can take your time and make really good shapes that fit our reference image. And let's bring this here. This one should be a little bit thicker. Also this one, and maybe this one can go like that. I think it's going to make sense, and it's going to be better than previous one. That is something that I'm gonna try to make, and maybe it should come all the way down up to here. Also about this one and this one, and for this part we can bring it a little bit lower just like that, and this can come all the way down up to there, and I think that's good now. Or we can bring it a little bit inside of this shape, and we can GG to Y's, or we can select 2 of them and bring it a little bit out of the shape just like that, and there we go. So that's good for now. I think, yeah, I'm satisfied with the shape. So select these 4 vertices at the end and enable this proportional editing. Then let's scale them down on the Y axis. Press S and Y, and you can control the size with scrolling up and down your middle mouse button. And let's scale it down a bit up to somewhere like that. And then let's make sure to turn off it and come out to solid view, and then come to the object mode. I think it's really good for our robot, but I found that it has a little pinch here. Let's create it. It's really simple. Come to edit mode, and this time I'm gonna bring a cylinder, and the vertices should be up to 16. And let's rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees, then scale it down Press 3 to go to sideways graphic view, scale it down a little bit and bring it higher. And now scale it on the y-axis, just like that. And bring it to the right position. I think it should come all the way up to here. And maybe we can scale it down a little bit on y-axis up to there. So press tab to go to object mode and let's apply the scale, Control A and scale. I think it's good for our robot and it's time to add a bevel modifier. Come to here and add a bevel. Then let's increase the segments a little bit to 1 and we can decrease the amount just a bit. And then let's add a subdivision modifier, 2 levels. And I think that's good, but we have to work with the angle of the bevel modifier to find a good shape for this leg part. We can increase the angle to somewhere like that to find this shape. Also, we can increase it a little bit to fix this issue here. And now we can right click and shade smooth to have a really smooth shape here. So I think it's really good and I'm satisfied with the result. And it's time to take copy and rotate it all over the shape. So I'm gonna take copy with Shift D, and in that case, when you press R and rotate this, it will rotate around the origin of the shape, and I don't want this. To avoid this problem, you can come to here and change the pivot point to 3D cursor. That's here on the center of the world. And in that case, if you rotate them, they are rotating around this 3D cursor, and we just want that. So let's press Shift D and don't do anything, press R, Z, and now you can type 90, then it will rotate 90 degrees around the 3D cursor. So without doing anything, without pressing any button, you can just hold Shift R 2 times and it will repeat the previous action that you just did. So this part is done. Let's come to this part and create this part. After that, we're going to create this part. I don't know what is it. I just call it walkie-talkie. Maybe it's another thing. I don't know. So let's zoom in here and select the head part. Press tab to go to edit mode. Let's bring a loop cut up to here. And another one should be around here. And let's bring another one here. And last one should be, where does it? Last one should be somewhere like that. And I don't want it to go in that direction because we have a hole here. For that reason, I'm gonna select 2 of them and hit GG twice and bring them a little bit higher, just like that. So select this face and extrude it with E a little bit, hit GG twice and bring it inside just like that, and it is really good and perfect for us. So press 3 to go to sideways graphic view, and I'm gonna create these shapes. After that, use another boolean for this head part and make some cuts inside the shape. So 3 again, Shift A and bring a cube, scale it down all the way up to there, bring it higher, and we can zoom in a little bit, scale it down. Oops, and I forgot to change this to median point. Then I think it is good, and we can scale it on the z-axis a bit and bring it lower just like that, and make sure to bring it to the correct position. And we can scale it on the x-axis a bit to give it some depth like that, and also scale it down on the y-axis up to there. And I think we can scale it a little bit on Z, just like that. And when you're satisfied with the shape, you can hold Ctrl A and apply the scale. So come to the edit mode, press A to select everything and take a copy with Shift D and move it on the y-axis like that. So again, without doing anything, without pressing any button, you can just press Shift R several times to repeat the previous action. And I think that's really cool. So we're gonna create this part here, and after that we will use the boolean modifier. For this one, I'm gonna take one of them and bring it here. We can scale it on z-axis, also we can scale it on y-axis a bit. and again on the z-axis to make something like this. And also we can select these edges and this one here. Then with Control B we're gonna bevel this, and I think that's going to answer, and it's really perfect. So press 1 to go to front orthographic view. Let's rotate it a bit to fit the angle with this part of the head, and I think it is good. Let's bring it to the correct position, and now select the head part, add a Boolean modifier. With the eyedropper tool, select this object and then just select this one, and after that the head part, then Control P object and parent it to that, and select this one, then press Edge to hide it. So we have this shape here. So the next part we're going to model is this part, and after that we're going to model the wire. For this one I'm going to go on with a cube. Let's add a cube, and we can bring it a little bit to the side part and scale it down a bit. So press 3 to go to side orthographic view, bring it higher a bit, and let's work on the size. We can scale it up a little bit on the z-axis. Let's bring the reference image to proper view. I think we can scale it a little bit more even on the z-axis, and also we can scale it down on the y-axis just a bit, not so much. And for the x-axis we should scale it down all the way up to there. It shouldn't be that thick. I think that's really cool. And when you're satisfied with the shape, you can just Control A and scale to apply the scale. So press Tab to go to edit mode, select this face and inset the face. So press 7 to go to top orthographic view to see it properly. That's what's going on here. And we can scale it on x-axis up to there, and we can go to edge selection mode. You can just select it from here, or you can just press 2, then select this edge and bring it to that part all the way up to there, and then select the face selection mode and select this face, and let's extrude it a bit up to there, and then come back to edge selection mode, select these two edges, and with Control B we can bevel the edges like that. I think it's really good, and it's time to work on these parts, and it's the same process as I did for these ones. It's not a new thing. Let's make them really fast. Bring a cube and bring it higher a bit, scale it down all the way up to there, and make sure to bring it to the correct position. We can scale it up on the x-axis. It shouldn't be that much, and for this one I think it's a little bit thin. We can scale it up a little bit on the x-axis like that, and after that with Control A we can apply the scale. Select this one, bring it here. It should be come up to there, and it's really good. So let's find a good place for this one. We can scale it down on the z-axis, and also we can scale it up on y-axis and bring it to the correct position. And when you're satisfied with it, we can just apply the scale and also come to edit mode, press A to select everything, take a copy, press G and Z, bring it higher a little bit, and after that you can press Shift R several times to repeat the previous action. So it's time to add these little circles here, and after that we're gonna add these ones. So for that one I'm gonna add a cylinder, and 16 is good for this one as well. We can rotate them 90 degrees on the y-axis, bring it higher and scale it down. Where does it go? It's here. It's inside the head of our robot. You can scale it down and down. Really, it should be really small, and it's too small, not that small, and I think that's really good. Let's look at our reference. It should be a little bit higher, and also we should scale it on Z a little bit, just like that. Bring it inside, and I think it's really good. Let's take a copy of this one, bring it higher a bit, and maybe a little bit more higher. Press 3 again to go to side orthographic view, take another copy, bring it all the way up. I'm gonna create in these parts, these three lights here. For these ones, let's scale it a little bit, and let's take a copy and press Y and I'm gonna bring them on the Y direction and press Shift R one time to repeat the previous action, and I think that's really cool. So press Tab to go to edit mode and bring them inside to the walkie-talkie, and also select this one and add a boolean modifier, and with the eyedropper tool select this object, and there we go. But first of all, select this one again and come to edit mode. I'm gonna select these three faces. Come to face selection mode first, select these faces and press Shift D, then right click to cancel the movement, and P then selection to separate these three faces. So select this object that we used as a boolean modifier. After that, select the walkie-talkie, then press Ctrl P, then object to parent this to this one. And now we can easily press H to hide them, and when you move this one, we don't have any disruptions. So select these ones, these three faces here, press Tab to go to edit mode, select all of them and press X, then only faces. I'm gonna delete all of them, then press A and Ctrl F, then grid fill, and it doesn't work for us. Then we have to select them one by one. So select this edge loop, Ctrl F, grid fill, this edge, Ctrl F, grid fill, and also this one, Ctrl F and grid fill. Then come to vertex selection mode, select this middle vertex here and enable the proportional editing, and let's bring them on the Z-axis. But all of them are moving because the size of proportional editing is really big. We can scroll down the middle mouse button to make it smaller, and I think that's really cool. Then press all of them by A, and let's change this pivot point for a moment to individual origins, and we can scale them all. But first of all, we should turn this off. We can scale them all and then turn this to median point and tab out to go to object mode and bring them inside just up to there. Then right click, then shade smooth, and with this one selected, select the main object, Ctrl P and object to parent this to this one as well. Now it's time to add this part and also this part. After that, we'll model the wire part. So press Shift A and bring a cylinder, and I think 16 again is good. Bring it higher and press 7 to go to top orthographic view, bring it to the correct position, scale it down all the way up to there, and I think it should come all the way up to here. We can scale it down a bit and bring it higher and scale it down on the X and Y axis, not the Z axis. In that case, you can press Shift Z to just scale it on the X and Y axis, and scale it down all the way up to there, and when you're satisfied, hold Ctrl A and apply the scale. So come to edit mode by tab, select these vertices and bring them all the way up to somewhere like this, and let's add a loop cut in the middle and bring it a little bit to the side where to make it crooked. It shouldn't be a straight line, and I think that's really cool now. And then select these vertices. Let's select this face here, then hold, then press Shift S, then cursor to selected, then come back to object mode and let's add a icosphere or UV sphere. It's up to you, and the segments for this one are too much. We can decrease it to 16, and now we can scale it down, and I think it should be really small as well. Maybe to that point is good. So with this one selected, select this one, then Ctrl P and object to parent this to the wire, and also select this one. After that, the main object, Ctrl P and object. In that case, we have all them connected to each other, and it's really cool. So press 1 to go to front orthographic view, bring it here, and make sure to press Shift C to bring back the 3D cursor to the center of the world. And now we can rotate it a little bit, bring it higher, rotate it again, and I think that is really cool. I think it's good. Now let's add a bevel modifier for this one, and also the head part as well, but the bevel modifier should come before the boolean modifier. So for this one, I'm gonna increase the segments to maybe 2 and also decrease the amount to somewhere like that. Let's do the same thing for this one as well. Let's add a bevel modifier. And again, it should come before the Boolean modifiers, and we can increase the segment to 2 and also we can decrease the amount a little bit, just like that. And I think it's really good. And now it's time to add this part here. I'm gonna use the curves for this one. Let's bring a Bezier curve and bring it to the correct position and press 7 to go to top orthographic view to see it properly, that's what's happening. Then press tab to go to edit mode, and we have to work on the shape here. And you have to make the shape of wire like this. I'm gonna change it to time lapse because it maybe take a little bit time and I don't want to waste your time. So I think the shape is really good, and now we can work on the beveling and give it a depth. So come all the way up to here, and on the geometry tab and then the bevel part, you can give it some depths. I think that's really good. And now press 3 to go to side orthographic view, and you have to find a good position for this one. And let's right click, then set origin to geometry, and then press 1 to go to front orthographic view. And from here you can find a good position for this one, and we have to change some vertices a little bit. Select this one and bring them all the way down up to there, and I think that is really good. So, and also we can make something like a support for our wire here. For this one I'm gonna add a cylinder. We can scale it down and bring it to the correct position. Press 3 and bring it here. Scale it down up to there and bring it to that point. And we can scale it on the axis. Bring it higher and press 1 to see properly that what's happening. And we can select this face, press GG twice, then C, and I think that's really cool. And also with this one selected, we can insert it once and now extrude it inside. So press 3 again and bring it to the correct position, and I think that is really cool. So with this one selected, select this one again and hold Ctrl P, then object. So this is the modeling part of the robot, but let's change this part a little bit as well. I think it's really small. So select these ones, 2 of them, and come to edit mode and press Alt T to come to the X-ray selection mode. Select these ones and press 1. Bring them all the way up to there maybe. Or we can bring it a little bit higher as well. Also we can select this loop cut. Where is it? This loop cut, and bring it higher, just like that. Also for this one, for the sphere part, we can scale it up a little bit, but its origin isn't in a correct position. We can scale it up like that. And I think it's really good. And now we can hold Alt Z to come to the solid view. So the modeling part is done here. On the next episode, we're gonna give it a texture, and also we'll work on the lighting parts as well. I hope this video was useful for you and you learned something from this video. If you did, don't forget to like the video, and also if you haven't subscribed yet in the channel, just click on that button below and hit the bell in the case of not missing any new uploads in the future. And up to the next video, I'm giving you a challenge. Try to give it a texture and lighting on your own, and make sure to try different styles, different methods, and create something new and creative. So up to the next video, stay tuned and see you then.